Hello, and welcome to the Kinetic Knitter Podcast, episode 8. I have my laptop in front of me in case I forget anything that I want to say. If you're new here, my name is Kara. I am the dyer behind the Kinetic Knitter yarns. All the information to find my shop is down below, and find me on Instagram, etc. Today, I am going to be going over some finished objects, some whips, no yarn acquisitions today, some books I'm reading, and some other life stuff. And then I'll also share a few things that I have coming to the shop soon. And this is my first time trying a wireless mic, hoping for better sound quality. And if it's not better, I'll try again next time. Okay, and apologies, I'm not wearing anything handmade today. It is like 78 degrees in Minneapolis and way too warm outside to be wearing a hand knit that I have finished because they're all pretty heavy. What else? I think that's it. So we can go ahead and get started. So I am going to start, I think, with finished objects today. Yeah, let's start with that. So the first thing I'll show you is a sweater I finished. It is called the Kordy Sweater. And it knit up very quickly. This wasn't even started the last time I podcasted. So in the last less than 3 weeks, I feel like I finished this. It's supposed to have color work in the sleeve. I omitted it. I didn't want to do it. I just did the color work up here. So I'll show that. It's a really quick, easy knit. And then I'll tell you what yarn I used in a moment here. So, like I said, Kordy Sweater. This yellow is a Knit Picks worsted weight yarn. And then the black and the gray main color are Germantown. Let's see, Germantown 100% North American wool made by Kelbourn Woolens. And it is, I don't know, worsted, yeah. That's all there is to say about it. This is the label. And it is a little bit more of a rustic feel, which also makes it feel very warm. And there's no way I could wear this today. And then the white, I forgot to say, the white is just a worsted base that I am testing. So anyhow, this pattern is by Kiyomi and Sachiko Burgin. And my cat's joining in as usual and chatting away. The pattern is from this book. This is the second pattern I've knit from this book, Moon and Turtle. And so you can see the sweater is what they're wearing on the front cover. So that's where the pattern came from. And it was a really quick, enjoyable knit. Yeah, it'll be great for the fall, but not anytime soon since it's gonna get hot here very soon. So that is that finished object. And let's see, which one should I share next? I made a kid's hat. I had this yarn lying around from 2 different dyers that just looked like it paired really well together. So that's what I opted to do. First, I'll show you the yarn. This is a DK Weight by Botanical Yarns. It's a really peachy kind of beige. It looks a little more yellow on camera, but it's got some subtle speckling in there. And then I paired it with this Sari Alpaca from Woolberry Fiber Co. that I had as like a mystery skein I ordered once. So it's a one of a kind and doesn't have a name. But together they just looked like they went so well. So I'll show you what they look like together. I will say the Sari definitely kind of overtook and made everything look very much like the Sari color. So this hat is a beautiful kids cabled hat, and it is called the August Hat Mini by Sari Nordlund, and it calls for a DK weight with a mohair, but I chose the Sari. Yeah, it was a really quick, easy pattern to knit up with those cables. Had some really like these cables are really wide. And then they slowly get more narrow as you get to the crown. So it's kind of a neat design. I had never really had done that before where the cables get wider to more narrow like that. Very cool. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Again, a gift for somebody when it cools down here. And let's see, my last finished object is this, what is it called? It is called the Simple Knit Hood Pattern by Lykke. All the information is going to be down below because I'm really bad at pronouncing things, and yeah. Oh, it is warm in my house. Sweating through this. Okay, it's the Simple Knit Hood Pattern, and I used the colorway Let's Picnic in Suri by Little Lionhead Knits, and then I used a DK Weight that I am testing. Oops, I shouldn't have just touched the mic. A DK Weight base that I am testing in my colorway Starcrossed. So this is it. Doesn't look like much here. It just looks like kind of a rectangle. I'll put some pictures of me actually wearing it up. But yeah, it's a hood. It's literally a hood that you put on. You put it on this way, and then you can, I'm not going to put it on because my hair is up. But it's knit, like I said, with the DK and the Suri held together. And it is very cozy and very soft, and it gives me total Little Red Riding Hood vibes. But I love it. I'll try to wear it on here sometime when it's colder outside. But like I said, I'll put some pictures, and it's just so cute because even if you're not wearing the hood, you can just leave it around your neck and keep your neck warm, kind of like a scarf would. And then it just is really cute, like hanging behind it. So I think if I wore this with my jean jacket or something, it would be really adorable. And this knit up super fast. So I definitely highly recommend this pattern if you're in the market for a little hood that you can wear. And let me see, did I already tell you who it's by? I think I did. Yeah, I did. So yeah, that was a really awesome project. Came together very fast. Again, another one that I wasn't even knitting yet at my last podcast episode. So I think that's it for finished objects. I'm flying through here. We're only at 7.5 minutes. So I will show you the whips that I have next. This is the most recent whip. It's a pair of vanilla socks, and I am already done with the first one. And I'm obsessed with it. This yarn is gorgeous. It's called Shapeshifter by Hedgehog Fibers. And then the cuffs, I did this mint color that I dyed myself, mint to be. And then the cuff and the toe are in a one-of-a-kind mini I had from Bella Filato. So it keeps focusing in and out, but I just love the way that this yarn knit up. It's so gorgeous. And the accents together just really, I don't know, they have tones of everything else in the sock, so it's very cool. I'll show you the label. This is Hedgehog Fibers, and like I said, the colorway is Shapeshifter. And then I've started the second sock, and oops, dropping things. So I'm doing the cuff on the second sock with mint to be, and then I'll do the heel in the gold color and then the toe in the mint. So they'll kind of be reverse of each other, which is really fun. And then this is the Shapeshifter in the ball. It's a really cool color. So if you're in the market for some sock yarn, I would check out Hedgehog Fibers website and see if they have more of this, because it's really fun to knit with. I love their dye style. I'm always really impressed with their dye techniques, and I love it. Okay. One thing I've noticed about myself, and maybe I shouldn't point this out, but when I am between segments, I tend to go before I talk. And if anybody else has noticed it, I'm very sorry, because I'm noticing that I'm doing it and I've seen it in my watch backs and it drives me up the wall. So please give me grace while I try not to do it anymore. Okay, another whip. This one I am knitting out of a book. It is this book, The 52 Weeks of Easy Knits by Laine. And I got it for Christmas, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before. And this is the first project I'm knitting out of it. It is called the Enkel or Enkel Sweater, Enkel, by Miyu K-P. It's on page 95 of the book. And it is, this is what it's supposed to look like. Can you see that? Let's see if there's another picture of it. Yeah. So the sample is knit with like a blown yarn. So it is lighter, airier, fluffier by nature. And I made some mods to it. I probably should have knit a size 3, but I decided to just use a worsted weight yarn instead of like a bulkier yarn, and increase my needle size in hopes that it would still kind of have a flowy fit, because it looks very flowy in those photos. And it's not turning out that way. I feel like it's going to be very fitted, but I'll show you where I'm at, and I'll tell you about the yarn in a second. But I have a lot of just feelings about this pattern. So I've got the body totally done. I wanted it to have a little bit of a cropped fit. I love the neutral golden honey brown color that it is. But I will tell you, it calls for, you can either opt to do or not to do the German short rows, and I chose to do them. So the back, you know, it drops down a little further than in the front before you see that first purl ridge here. Oh, I keep touching the mic. I'm forgetting I'm wearing it. Okay. The problem I'm having is you can see right here, it's puckering in the front. And sometimes short rows stay really concentrated to the back of the garment. But in this case, the short rows really come around to the front quite far. And German short rows, at least for me, sometimes look a little sloppy and clunky. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it just doesn't look great to me, to be honest. And it's a round yoke. And when you do a round yoke, you have to do the increases. And so they show kind of through the fabric. And I don't know. It's also just, it's not fitting as loosely and more flowy as I was hoping it would. So I might block this before I knit the sleeves to see if I even like the way it's laying on me. Plus the neck, I really think they should have called for more stitches to be cast on, because it's a little tough to tug over my head, and then it sits kind of really high up on my neck. So I don't know about this pattern, y'all. I may be frogging this. Thankfully, it's a worsted weight on size US 10 needles. That's how I chose to knit it. I think it calls for actually 9, US 9. So I may be frogging it. And maybe one day I'll redo it in the fluffier yarn. I think the fluffier yarn would also hide those increases a little better, and hide the, I did it again, sorry. Hide the short rows a little better. Or I might choose a different short row technique, or I'm not sure. Or just knit a bigger size. I'm really on the fence about this one. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Okay, let's see. Do I have any other knit whips? Oh, I do. This one you've seen. It's the Little Yellow Sweater, the LYS by Andrea Mowry. I showed it, I think, on last episode. And I was inspired to pick it up and continue knitting on it and just plow through the cable chart. If you remember, or if you didn't see last time, I was upset because I hadn't picked it up in a couple of years because I knew I'd messed up somewhere in the cable chart and I didn't want to go back and figure out how to fix it. So ultimately, I decided to just, oh my gosh, pause. I forgot to show you the yarn I'm using for that other sweater. Okay. It is Tahki Yarns Classic Superwash, and the colorway is number 7. It's a 100% superwash wool, and it's 218 yards per 100 grams. So sorry, I forgot to show that. Okay, back to the LYS. So I picked it up, I started knitting it again, and I made a really good amount of progress, and I was so excited because I couldn't even see where the errors I made were. And then as I got closer and closer to finishing the top part, because it's a bottom-up sweater, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this, but I realized my stitch counts were completely off. So you are decreasing the top of the shoulder here between stitch markers. And then what happens is the decreases are supposed to come together and kind of meet at your, why isn't it focusing? It's so annoying. Are supposed to meet kind of where your lace chart begins. So as you can see, I've got like what, I don't know, 12 stitches remaining to decrease there. Well, if we come to this side, I have many more. Or no, maybe that was the side with more. This one only has like 7 or 8 stitches left to decrease. So it's just going to look totally lopsided and different on both sides. And there is just no way I am going, like, yeah, you can see, look at the difference in the stitch markers here. They're just, there's a lot of difference. I don't know. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining this, but from here to here is on one side and from here to here is on the other side. So my counts were completely off. And because I hadn't picked it up in 2 years, I just trusted that whatever I did the first time through was right, and it wasn't. So I'm kind of devastated, if I'm honest, because that was a lot of hours of work. It's a fingering weight cardigan, a lot of purling for it to look wonky. And I just feel like with the way those seams come up and meet here at the neck, there's no way I'm going to be able to really hide that one seam ends here and one ends here. I don't even know if I'm explaining that well, but it's either going to be a complete frog or I will just finish it and hope that it looks okay. I don't know. I'm a little sad about that one. It's going back in the bag to live there for a while, but I will share just in case you didn't know. I am using Knit Picks Twill fingering and the color Serpent Heather, 50 grams, 183 yards for this yarn. So that is the sad story behind my LYS. Okay, I feel like that's all. Oh, my cat is laying on my sweater right now. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna try not to stress out. I knew better than to lay it down on the couch, and she just has made a bed out of it now. Okay. I think that's, oh, okay, yes. So that's it for whips and finished objects. Like I said, I have no yarn acquisitions to share this week. So I'm going to talk about what I've watched, what I've read, and some yarn coming to the shop or already in the shop, I should say. So I have, I think, 4 skeins or 4 sock sets of this left. This is the colorway Crush with a one-of-a-kind kind of mauve purple mini. On my twisted sock base, it's an 80/20 2-ply merino nylon. So if you're interested in that, that's in the shop right now. And I also have Lagoon in the shop right now. Same base with this one-of-a-kind mini. Let's see if I can get it closer so you can really see the colors. Yeah, it's really fun. And I think there's 3 skeins or sets of that left. And then I'm just going to share quickly one of the colorways that I dyed for spring that will be coming soon. I have just about enough yarn to have a small shop update. So this is just a quick preview of that before everything is ready to be debuted. But I dyed this up so I could have DK weight sock sets, fingering weight sock sets, and then just some solo fingering weight skeins. It's called Spring Fever. And this is it on the plush sock base. And this is the one that will be available on its own. And then DK I will have in a sock set coming soon with, this is plush DK, so it's got the nylon and the merino wool in it. And then the mini has this kind of like berry reddish color, or berry pink, to match some of those speckles in there. So that's a really fun colorway I'm excited about. And that'll be coming soon, along with some other fun new spring-like colors, and some overflow skeins from some wholesale order, or not wholesale, custom sweater quantity orders I had, mostly in mohair and Suri, I believe. Like Crowd Pleaser is in there, and Sugar Cookies and Love Buzz on those lace weight bases. Okay, that's it for the yarn and the knitting. So I will share next. This is a book that I just finished. It is called Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is, I think, the third book I've read by her, and I loved it. Loved it. The whole idea behind it is a woman ends up in a kind of sliding door situation, if you're familiar with that movie, where she gets to like see, or you as the reader get to see, what different paths would have led her to in her life. So if she does this thing, she ends up with this guy in this life. If she does this thing, she ends up with this guy in this life. And it's just a really fun read. And there were parts of it that I actually like took pictures of and saved on my phone, because I just really loved the way the writer explained their ideas about life. I don't know, it was just really fascinating. It left me with this feeling of, no matter what decision you make or which path you choose to take, it's the right path for you. It's all going to work out. So I don't know. It was a really good read. And if you're into, women's fiction, highly recommend. And then right now I am reading The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I'm not very far yet. It is a thriller mystery kind of situation, and I'm just learning the characters right now, and it's finally kind of sinking in, and I am getting into it. So I'm excited to read it and see what happens and unravel the mystery of it. So if you're into that kind of book, so far, so good. And then the last thing, let's see, I watched the movie Anyone But You. It's got Sydney Sweeney in it, and I can't remember the other guy's name. But anyway, I think it's coming to Netflix this month. But I watched it, and it was like a really fun, funny rom-com, just easy watch, easy breezy, felt summery and just lighthearted and fun to watch. So if you're looking for something like that, that could be a fun pick for you. You can wait and watch it on Netflix. I haven't really watched a lot of other stuff that I have been super intrigued by or wanting to share, I guess, but that was the most fun one. And then what else have I been up to? I've dyed a little bit of yarn, not as much as I would hope. Life's been a little busy, work's been really busy. I got a new car yesterday, which is super fun. I had been driving my car for 8 years, and I wanted an SUV, so I got a small SUV, a Mazda, and I'm really excited about it. I named her Ruby because she's bright red. So that's been exciting to have a new vehicle. And I've been playing my guitar a little more lately, building my calluses back up. I went to Guitar Center last weekend looking at new acoustic guitars, and I was blown away by how much more they cost than they used to. I started playing in high school, so I've been playing for over 20 years, but I take a lot of time off. Like I don't consistently play every day, but whenever I feel inspired, lately I felt inspired, so I've been playing. And I'm still pretty rusty, and I just could not bring myself to spend that kind of money on a new guitar when the one I have works perfectly fine. So I might just take it in and get it tuned up and just keep playing with the one I've had since I was a teenager. I felt like I talked a lot. Next knitting plans. probably going to block that partially done sweater from the book and see if I even want to knit the sleeves on it, and finish the second sock for those vanilla socks I'm making. And then Andrea Mowry just released a new like kind of high wide collared fuzzy sweater, and the yarn she used is a Suri Alpaca DK, and my yarn supplier does offer it. So I was thinking about ordering a bag of it just to sample it for myself to see if I want to offer it and knit up that sweater. However, it is a very expensive base. So it would have to be like $38 a skein, which that's a lot of money to spend. So I also don't know that I would bring it to the shop because that's just so much money to spend on a skein of yarn. I don't know. Anyway, if you would be interested in a DK Weight Suri Alpaca, let me know. Otherwise, you could always just hold it double with, like, I think Andrea Mowry says a sport weight woolen base with a lace weight Suri would also get you the right gauge, but I don't know, then you're buying double the yarn, so maybe it is more affordable to just buy it all on the Suri DK. Anyway, thinking out loud, I was thinking about casting that sweater on next. So that's everything. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you hanging out. And hopefully I'll have some more fun things to share next time, including new yarn coming to the shop. Have a great week.